That's not submission. That's being a trick, okay? You were tricking off on these men. I mean, am I surprised? Scammers, they know who to target, okay? They can smell the desperation on you. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee.
What is your definition of courting?
Courting is basically nowadays it's the protection, it's the taking care of, it's the supportiveness, it's the being everything for me, it's being everything my father would have wanted me to be with, which would be a man that is not going to allow me to struggle, cry without a shoulder, vent without a tissue, take care of the kids without a place to sleep or like a roof over my head. Me personally, I can't walk next to somebody who I'm in a relationship with. In other words, if I don't have a car, I'm not walking with you on the street. If there's something that I don't have and either or I'm working towards, I would want my fellow man or my guy to either have or work towards the same thing. Either or. I am a provider as well because I've been forced to do it for so long. My issue with men is I have a problem with spoiling them, thinking that I'm being submissive to them, but I'm just getting played altogether.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. Number one, that is not the definition of courting. Like, we were just going off on so many tangents, and this man asked you a clear-cut question. What is your definition of courting? And next thing you know, we talking about this, that, and the third. We all over the planet except where we need to be with this definition. To that last point about submission being you giving them money or buying things for them, that's not submission. That's being a trick, okay? You were tricking off on these men. I mean, am I surprised? Scammers, they know who to target, okay? They can smell the desperation on you. And the fact that you're equating submission to buying your man things, that's a red flag. You don't know what submission is. And that's the part. Words have definitions. Let's not bastardize said definitions. Okay, let's leave them as be. And I'm glad that she's in therapy. Okay, shout out to you for being in therapy. You might need a new therapist, but at least you're trying to find help. I think that a lot of Black women, a lot of Black people in general, we need therapy, and we don't need this affirmative therapy that they have now. We need that old school therapy. Okay, the old school therapy where they used to tell you things you didn't want to know, you didn't want to hear. They guide you to the answers. They guide you to figuring your out rather than just affirming whatever it is that you're feeling, which it sounds like that's the type of therapist she has based on what she said. This therapist sounds like they're affirming whatever it is that she's saying, not giving her pushback, not telling her to think about what's going on with her, because as she was talking, all she was saying was, well, he's a this and he's a that. And it's like, no. Therapy is supposed to be about you and understanding you and how things are affecting you and how you contributed to these things. He's not the one in therapy, you are. It's very odd to me. A lot of these practices that were once there to protect us and to keep us healthy, whether it's physically or mentally, they're just deteriorating right before our eyes. You have doctors really out here pushing obesity and saying that you can be healthy at every size. Just like you have these therapists that now their goal is to just fleece you for money and tell you that you're great. The sun shines out and it is the other person. That's what they're telling you. They're there to really just affirm your nonsense and feed into your self-destruction. So all of these different institutions that used to be safeguards to protect us, they're just falling apart right before our eyes. And it's quite disgusting because we see the ramifications of it. Case in point, this sister right here.
I just want to give you the exact definition of courting. So courting.
Exact definition. I could have guessed.
Yeah. Well, so okay, what's the exact definition and what it means? What's the exact definition and what does it mean?
Like being involved with someone romantically.
Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I want you guys to notice, as soon as he even hinted at correcting her, you saw her little attitude? You saw that? Well, I could have that attitude. Black women in general, it's okay to be corrected. It's okay to find out that you're wrong about something. Actually, you know what? I'm going to extend this to everyone because I've seen a ton of men do this too. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to find out that you had the wrong information. The problem arises when you are combative to new information. When you get corrected and then you just fight tooth and nail, you jump through all the hoops literally possible. You do so much mental gymnastics that you are the Simone Biles of mental gymnastics just because you don't want to admit that you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to find out that you had a misunderstanding. Because this person has brought it to your attention, now you can be correct. Now you can have more information. Notice how she responded as soon as he hinted that he was going to correct something that she said.
No.
Typically with
The definition of it's your full intentions of marriage. Like, so it's not even dating a person. It's literally like, I'm gonna marry you. That's it. So I'm dating you. I'm seeing you with the intention that we are going to get married.
Sometimes we do choose chaos because it's familiar, because it's fun, because we're just living in the moment. And other times we do go into situations based off of what we're being shown and what we're being told. And sometimes it is the opposite. Just ultimately, you can choose the wrong person, but it's about how you move forward.
I would prefer to be a single mother in struggle than be a depressed single mother in a relationship.
I don't understand that. I want to touch on that just now. But let me ask you, so, okay, it sounds like from what I heard you say about your former relationship was that you saw him, y'all were dating, you guys were enjoying each other's company. He seemed like he's put on a representative at first. He turned into something else after y'all kind of moved in with each other. Y'all lived with each other, and then he was like, who is this guy? Mm-hmm. So you left him, right? So do you think at some point that might have not been the actual way to do things? The best thing that you could advise, or I would advise a woman to do, is to, before you give a man a child, the commitment matters. Forget the fact that you guys lived with each other. That's not a form of commitment. That's just living with each other. I could live with a roommate. It doesn't give us a bond of anything else other than bills. What bonds me to a woman is the marriage, right? Is that certificate. And on top of the certificate is the bond that I make with God. That's what gives me the right to have to take care of my wife. And if I don't, not only would God hold me liable, the state will also hold me liable to make sure that if I don't provide and do what I need to do for my wife, I'm gonna have to pay to some degree, right? That's the right way to do things. He didn't seem like he was courting you. He seemed like he was living with you. He seems like he was just being a gentleman by holding the doors for you and making sure you was okay to some degree.
I understand why a lot of men are not wanting to get married. I've heard so many different stories about men, they get left by their wives and then their wives take them to the cleaners over some nonsense. It's a nightmare. So I understand why men are very iffy about putting a ring on it, about signing a contract with the state, even if they have all the intentions to stay there and be in that relationship. Now, I'm going to say something that's a little bit hot take, but the government really doesn't incentivize marriage like it used to. And that's something that politically, policy-wise, needs to change. I feel like there needs to be more resources extended to families, extended to people that are married and have children together and have that two-parent household. There should be more resources or, tax benefits or just more to incentivize staying together and staying in the unit. However, what is incentivized is being single. What is incentivized is not having the father in the home. That needs to change. And then also the family court, the family law also needs to change. The way it preys upon men is actually quite disgusting. Now, are there some men that deserve to get taken to the cleaners? Yeah, I'm sure I can find a situation where it makes total sense for that man to be took through there. More times than not, uncalled for. And especially when you got children in the mix, the courts are really not in the best interest of the child. This conversation around marriage, and not everybody is religious. So that works for somebody that is religious, but in this day and age, a lot of people are not. When it comes to that commitment, it has to be based on your value system. Do y'all value two-parent households? Do y'all value each other? Do y'all value your role in that relationship? I'm not against marriage with the state. I know some people, they might hear my commentary and they think that I'm completely against it. No, I think that there are things that need to be fixed so that it is fair to the parties involved. I do think that the important part is what it represents. It represents the commitment. And yes, there's that accountability with the state. And if you're religious, that accountability with your God. If the people that are in that relationship have that commitment there and they are having a 2-parent household, then I'm not going to be a stickler for the license. I'm just not, because I understand why people don't want to get into a license with the government, a license with the state. I understand why, because it's not incentivized. And honestly, for a lot of men, it's terrifying, the idea being tied to a woman by law. My main thing is always going to be that commitment and the commitment you have to your children.
And here's the other part to that too. There's usually signs, right? Most signs get ignored by most people. So instead of little things, you ignore it because, hey, the peen is good. We keeping it YouTube friendly. He's giving you the certain amount of attention that you like, and it feels good, something that you might not be used to from someone else. So you're infatuated with the guy, and then comes the baby, and then it's like the expectation from you now is, well, what about the family? There's no family if you guys are not truly bonded together. You still gonna be a baby mother. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it usually works.
So, and then a lot on the podcast, I do hear you speak a lot on baby mothers and baby fathers. What makes a person a baby mother or a baby father?
When you're not together, when you're not having a family together,
A baby
when it's just
marriage.
Yeah, a baby outside of marriage.
So I can't be the mother of my child.
I don't understand.
Why do I have to be a baby mother and not the mother of my child?
You have to keep it a buck across the board, regardless of how it makes you feel. You don't like the connotation associated with baby mama. You don't like how that feels. But if that's the situation that you're in, then that's the situation that you're in. It doesn't matter how it makes you feel. It is what it is. But this wordplay, well, why can't I be the mother of my child? Well, you are the mother of your child, but also if you're not with the father of your child does not see both their parents every day because y'all live in the same household, or if you want to take it a step further, you don't have the marriage, then it is what it is. Running from it because you're embarrassed by it, that's not going to serve you. It just really highlights that inability to be accountable, that inability to call a spade a spade. Folks want to be handled with kitty gloves, even though they grown out here making grown decisions. That's not going to serve you. You don't like the situation that you're in, then you need to make choices to try to better that situation. I don't know who's going to sign up to be stepdaddy. There are some men that are willing to do it. Are they interested in you? Then you have that layer of, what if this guy's a creep? What if he's trying to do things like with my kids? So you've really put yourself in a very terrible position having children with somebody that you couldn't stay with. If you were so quick to give this man a child that you didn't even vet him, that you just let your infatuation get the best of you, you let the honeymoon phase be the determining factor of whether or not you gave this man a child, shame on you. You need to know his value system. You need to give it time to find out if he's trying to scam you or not. And also to look at him with clear eyes, not rose-colored glasses. There were probably red flags. You ignored them. But I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts on this down below. How do you feel about everything that was said? If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video. I may or may not have that function. You just gotta check. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.